Good afternoon. I'm Tina Shaw.
And I'm Andrew Davis. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, concerns are growing in Bryan County. This over a proposed nickel refinery planned for Richmond Hill.
County leaders are meeting tonight. This is to discuss the future of the Caesarstone property that's located in Belfast Commerce Park. So here's some video now of where Westwind Elements is looking to build a nickel refinery, drawing health and safety concerns for some residents and leaders. The Bryan County Commission called a special meeting to approve an evaluation of that property and possibly pursue legal action against Caesarstone, saying the site could be a public nuisance. A lawsuit would be filed and the private property would not be sold unless this lawsuit is remediated. Now, the Bryan County Commission approving authorization of their county attorney and staff to investigate. Richmond Hill City Council also planning a meeting. It's happening at 6 tonight. This is where they are expected to discuss public comment on the proposed nickel refinery and the Caesarstone property. We will have a full report for you tonight on News 3 at 10 and 11.
WSAV has new video tonight of a second suspect connected to a serial stalking case in Chatham County. Investigators say some tips have come in, but they need more to bring him to justice. This is that new video, and it comes from the View at Oglethorpe Apartments, where multiple women were targeted by what sheriff's deputies call a serial stalker. The man in this video is wanted in connection to that case. Authorities say he may have been driving a Toyota Camry or an Avalon with dark tinted windows. The sheriff's office has already arrested 22-year-old Nathaniel Crawford in connection to the case. Since his arrest, at least 6 victims have come forward, but authorities believe there could be more. Investigators say he operated in the area of the apartment complex as well as Middle Ground Road on Savannah's south side. Now, Crawford is behind bars without bond. They want to make sure they hear from anyone, though, who may have had contact or were attacked by him or may know this additional suspect. If you think you can help, call investigator Trey Connors with the Chatham County Sheriff's Office, 912-644-5136. In our crime and safety report now, a Statesboro teen is dead following a crash in Screven County. According to Georgia State Patrol, on Monday morning, a car traveling west on Rocky Ford Road struck an ice patch, causing it to rotate and slide across the eastbound lane. The car then left the road before hitting a tree. Driver of that car later identified as 18-year-old Kiana Wisner, who was pronounced dead after being taken to the hospital.
The Savannah Fire Department and Savannah Police had a busy morning working a house fire in the 300 block of 40th Street. Our video that you see right here shows heavy smoke as the crews moved in to put out the flames. Drivers were asked to seek alternate routes as police closed Montgomery Street and West 39th, even West 41st. The cause of the fire is still not known right now. So far, we are told there are no injuries.
And multiple fire crews reporting the scene of a fire on a church at Rebo Road in Port Royal this morning. Now, according to officials, that fire found in the attic and the building's sprinkler system did put out a majority of the flames. Crews stayed on the scene to put out the rest of that fire. No injuries have been reported. The cause still being investigated. Residents in certain parts of Beaufort County could soon see changes to how or where they can discharge a firearm. Today, the Beaufort County Community Services and Public Safety Committee will be looking at amending their current gun ordinance. It is only in the first reading, but if passed, it would make it illegal to discharge a firearm within 500 feet of a building, home, park, or playground. It would only apply to certain unincorporated areas of the county. This directly relates to complaints from neighbors in the Lakes at New Riverside subdivision in Bluffton, who say gunfire is entering their neighborhood from an incorporated county property. Well, penalties outlined in the proposed ordinance would be fines of up to $500 and jail time up to 30 days. WSAV's Danielle Cobb will be at that meeting tonight, and she'll have more in our later newscasts. He flew the last plane out of Afghanistan. Now Alex Pelbath wants to be the next person to lead the Lowcountry in Congress. The District 1 Republican candidate held a town hall meeting in Bluffton this afternoon. The former Air Force pilot and Washington outsider told the gathered crowd of about 40 people he describes himself as an America First candidate, supporting President Trump's policies and agenda, and believes now is the time for an outsider to be put into office in the Lowcountry.
Only candidate in this race with a resume like mine, with actual national level policy experience. Before I had the opportunity to come to the Lowcountry, I got here almost a decade ago, but we came here from the Pentagon, where I was a budget economic policy guy. And then I worked literally at the highest level of the Department of Defense for the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, working on national defense policy.
Pelbath says he's proud of President Trump for getting a deal done to help keep the government open. But when it comes to immigration enforcement, he believes ICE is getting criminals off the streets and their mission shouldn't change.
This is simply law enforcement, and they are rightfully enforcing the laws. Okay, they have been tasked with a very hard job, and I think what people forget is that people who work for ICE are regular people. They're no different from first responders, our military members. I mean, these are people with families. The Democrats want to treat ICE as this nefarious organization, and the fact is, they are patriotic Americans just like so many of us who choose to wear the uniform.
Pelbath, one of 8 declared Republican candidates for current Congresswoman Nancy Mace's seat. 5 Democrats also fighting for their party's nomination.
Savannah leaders are taking their priorities straight to the Gold Dome for Savannah Chatham Day 2026. Mayor Van Johnson says the city is pushing for action. WSAV's Nikaya Harris is joining us with what those conversations will look like ahead of tomorrow.
Now, Tina, Savannah Mayor Van Johnson says they are bringing big items to the table at the state capitol tomorrow: affordable housing, infrastructure, child care, public safety, and economic development. The question now, how does Savannah turn those conversations with lawmakers into real results? Savannah Chatham Day brings hundreds of local leaders to the state capitol each year, giving cities and counties a chance to speak directly with lawmakers about funding and legislation that impact their communities. Johnson says one of Savannah's top priorities this year is affordable housing, and city leaders say state support plays a major role in making projects financially possible.
We're talking about empowering cities to be able to have the financial and legislative tools to be able to create affordable housing. I talked a little bit about the low-income housing tax credits. It makes it profitable and attractive for developers. What makes it affordable is the tax credits that developers can then get back, so now they make their money from the tax credits and not from the cost of the house.
Now, Mayor Johnson says city leaders are also watching state proposals that could limit Savannah's control over local decisions like property taxes and other rules that affect how the city provides services. Nikaya Harris, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Nikaya, thanks so much. Continuing coverage now is the City of Statesboro considering the introduction of a new fee that would help support and maintain the city's growing fire department. WSC's Evan Smoke has more on what a top official had to say about why this is needed.
In July 2025, Bullitt County and the City of Statesboro chose not to renew their fire services agreement. Now, the city is looking for a new way to generate revenue to help maintain personnel and get new equipment. When the contract was not renewed, the city lost approximately $2.5 million in funding. This fee is being proposed to help cover that loss, and then some. The city plans to hold a community town hall where residents can learn about the proposed rate structure and give feedback. City Manager Charles Penny tells WSAV the city chose to propose a fee instead of exploring a millage rate hike in an attempt to lower monthly increases.
Through the millage rate, only property owners pay those taxes. And then we have about 25% of our properties located in the city limits that don't pay taxes at all. In some ways, the fire service fee seems to be more equitable because all of the potential users of fire service would also help to fund those services.
The community town hall will begin at 6 p.m. and be held here next Monday at Statesboro City Hall. Reporting in Statesboro, Evan Smoke, WSAV News 3, on your side.
WSAV Time Saver Traffic is brought to you by Arrowhead Clinic, the accident doctors, where it pays to get well.
Well, so far on our Tuesday, we don't have many issues on the major highways and around Savannah, the Coastal Empire, or the Low Country. This is the view at Pooler Parkway along Interstate 16 in Pooler. The westbound lanes are flowing smoothly. Speeds are pretty close to normal. Just some minor delays at Abercorn and Duren right now at the major intersection there, but that's about the only spot where we see major delays. Traffic along 95 in the Low Country flowing smoothly, along with 278, 170, and also May River Road through Bluffton at this time with speeds pretty close to normal. That actual drive time from downtown Savannah to Pooler taking 10 minutes. Right now, just over an hour to get to from downtown to Hilton Head.